inside my DNA. I got royalty inside my DNA. I got peace, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA.
神羅転生
I was born this is why immaculate conception. I just felt like this, perform like this without you. A new weapon, I know.
Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba. Ever wanted to watch or read Demon Slayer but never got the opportunity to? Don't worry, we've got your back. Welcome back to our channel. Demon Slayer is a popular manga-turned-film written by Koyoharu Gotoge and has become the highest-grossing anime film. For all those people who want a quick summary of what goes down in the plot, or just a recap, continue on watching. It is about a demon slayer who explores humanistic virtues and sacrifices in order to show that the essence of mankind resides in our mortality. It is a question of personal values, whether death is a tragedy or a treasure. The fear of dying is what motivates us to be brave. The fact that we only have so much time forces us to grow and improve more quickly. Mortality, on the other hand, takes away your physicality, and in some cases, your loved ones. Kimetsu no Yaiba is situated in Japan during the Taisho period. Tanjiro Kamado, a good-hearted boy who trades coal for a livelihood, has his world turned upside down one day when his family is slain by a demon. In order to avenge his sibling, who was the only one who survived but has now turned into a terrible demon, the two proceed on a quest to find the demon who murdered their parents. The plot depicts two siblings, Tanjiro Kamado, including his baby sister Nezuko Kamado, on their adventure. Tanjiro is trying to find a cure for Nezuko, who has transformed into a demon. The siblings, on the other hand, become embroiled in the operations of the Demon Slayer Corps, a secretive demon organization of fighters who have been battling demons for a considerable period. These demons are essentially mortals who dedicated their lives to the forces of evil in exchange for power and eternity. Demons, as per the manga series Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, are individuals who have given their lives in order to gain power, superhuman strength, and healthy life. Their power level, which is either lower 12 or upper 3, distinguishes them. Rising numbers denote a more formidable demon who has spent too long and effort training to become powerful. For generations, an underground organization of demon slayers has waged a fight against such demons in order to keep the earth safe. Breathing styles is a particular respiration style that a demon slayer learns and practices. Tanjiro is enlisted by Gyu Tomioka, a demon slayer, and brought to his former teacher, Sakonji Urokodaki, for learning to be a demon slayer, thus commencing his mission to help his sibling transform back into a mortal and redeem his family's death. After 2 years of rigorous preparation, Tanjiro partakes in a grueling exam and emerges as one of the few survivors, formally establishing him as a Demon Slayer Corps soldier. He starts his mission of tracking down and destroying demons with the assistance of Nezuko, who has been hypnotized to cause no harm to people and sometimes assists him in a fight. It is the only source of tremendous power and resilience in the face of a demon. When his family is slain by demons, Tanjiro Kamado vows to become the next Demon Slayer. Tanjiro is sent to Asakusa on one of his duties when he meets Muzan Kibutsuji, the creator of all demons and the murderer of his parents. He also encounters Tamayo, a monster who is no longer under Muzan's command. Tamayo joins forces with Tanjiro and starts working on a treatment for Nezuko, albeit it would necessitate Tanjiro supplying her with lifeblood from 12 Kizuki, Muzan's most deadly demons. As he continues his missions, Tanjiro encounters fellow examination survivors Zenitsu Agatsuma and Inosuke Hashibira, with whom he forms an odd alliance. The trio is soon pitted against a Kizuki member, but they are outnumbered. They are retrieved by the corps and returned to headquarters. The Kamado siblings attend a meeting between Kaguya Ubuyashiki, the Demon Slayer Corps' leader, and the Hashira, the corps' highest powerful members who feel Nezuko should not be permitted to remain. Despite this, Kaguya is able to persuade people to welcome her. With this arrangement in place, Tanjiro continues to work with the Hashira, wherein he finds far more demon resistance. Tanjiro works beside the Hashira and corps soldiers in a series of horrific skirmishes against Kizuki, whom they narrowly escape. During the struggle, it is revealed that Nezuko is invincible to sunshine, a finding that makes her the popular threat of Muzan, who has long wanted a way to vanquish the sun and therefore become the greatest. Kaguya foresees Muzan's plans and establishes a harsh training regiment for the whole corps in preparation for the impending fight. Tamayo produces a serum to heal Nezuko using plasma samples collected from the Kizuki, who is kept separated from the fight while she heals. Muzan soon arrives in front of Kaguya, who is startled by a suicide attack. Muzan ambushes the Hashira and Tanjiro, but they are all trapped within Infinity Castle, an unending maze that contains the Kizuki. Tamayo uses a poison she manufactured to restrain Muzan, leaving him exposed to attack. The corpse defeats the surviving Kizuki soldiers in order to reach him, though they suffer heavy losses themselves. The corpse succeeds, assisted by Tamayo's poison, albeit many are slain, including the majority of the Hashira, and Tanjiro is fatally injured. In a last-ditch attempt to save his people from the sun, Muzan imparts his last strength to a suffering Tanjiro and turns him into a demon. Tanjiro attacks the surviving corpse members, but he has changed back into a human thanks to the work of his comrades and Nezuko, who being entirely returned to her human self. Because of Muzan's overwhelming strength, everyone facing him at the time was on the edge of giving up. Demons, on the other hand, have one major weakness, which is sunlight. The whole corpse is simply collecting time by battling Muzan till the dawn rises, and it was far past time for the sun to rise, particularly since some comrades had already died. This caused the mighty Muzan to dissolve, giving everyone a sense of relief, and some of them even sobbed as the most arduous ordeal was finally done, and the devils were no longer present. They finally rest, now that there are no more enemies in sight. Some demon slayers assisted the injured, while others remarked on their final fight. Some demon slayers still can't believe it. After Gyu checks on Tanjiro, unfortunately he is unconscious. While crouching and gripping his blade, Tanjiro has stopped breathing. This sent everybody into a frenzy, fearing that their friend had already died, which turned out to be true. After all, he's fatigued and his severed arm is bleeding profusely from the violent fight with Muzan. The focus then shifts to Muzan's prior life as a mortal. That's where we all learned that perhaps the demon curse is more than simply a supernatural event, it's also a virus spread through Muzan experiments. Muzan is also informed that mortality has always been close to him, even when he was a mortal. And then the scene shifts to Muzan's awareness inside of Tanjiro as he gives him all of his demonic blood. Tanjiro awoke from his death as a result, but no longer as a man. As they learned that Tanjiro had awoken, everyone sighed with relief. They did note, meanwhile, that Tanjiro's arm regenerated, forcing everyone to avoid Tanjiro as they thought their companion had transformed into a monster. The terrified demon slayers are now perplexed as to why Tanjiro appears to be acting strangely and loving his unique form with glee. Despite being exhausted from fighting the previous Demon King, they seemed to have no alternative but to brace for another fight at this point. They persuaded Tanjiro to return to his human shape while fighting him. Nezuko raced to her sibling and embraced him so tightly as Tanjiro continued to unleash his spine whips and demonstrate his overpowered form. This sparked Tanjiro's internal struggle to free himself from Muzan's grip. They were able to eventually get rid of the Muzan within Tanjiro and reinstate him to being a person due to the strength of sibling affection combined with a little kindness from his comrades. The demon race has been extinguished now that they have reached peace, and Tanjiro, his sister, and the companions can live in peace. Fans will be moved by the concluding scenes, which are so serene since Tanjiro and Nezuko have finally achieved their aim and have defeated all evil for good. And as the other story ends, Tanjiro and his sister continue living in the Kamado house with their companions. After that, the final frame of chapter 204 depicts a cosmopolitan city, which begins a new plot. This is where the prolonged finale, chapter 205, comes in. This chapter's chronology may have occurred hundreds of years following Tanjiro's timeline. This section, on the other hand, depicts the contemporary Kamado family, one of whom bears a striking likeness to Tanjiro. It also featured Zenitsu's, Nezuko's, Inosuke's, and even Murata's grandchildren. They all appear to be as tight as their forefathers, suggesting a significant family history. Tanjiro's Nichirin blade, Kyojiro's flame-shaped blade, and an older picture of Tanjiro, everybody who escaped the final fight, as well as Tanjiro's Hanafuda earrings, put the saga to a close. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and share so you never miss an upload from us, and we'll see you in the next video.